ibadah. So you might be aware that our female branch sitting upstairs, they remain very vibrant over the period of time. In the last session, in last 2 years, they conducted series of workshops on medical ethics. And one of the important workshop, one-day workshop which they conducted in Shifa International Hospital, that was on the gender bill which was passed by the government, Transgender Act. I went on television and I said one sentence which I repeat here is, again, that most of the parliamentarians who voted in the favor of this Gender Act, well, actually they didn't read this act, what was written in that. And I challenge that if any one of you have some conscience in your mind, in your heart, then if you read it and then you voted it, you won't be able to face your spouse at that day. You will not be able to show your face to the society because you acted against your own will, against your own religion, against your own spirit, and against the Constitution of Pakistan. And our female branch, they conducted this the workshop, and alhamdulillah, they could be able to frame the guidelines as well as the recommendations to the government that how you can change this Gender Act, which is absolutely against the spirit of Constitution of Pakistan, which is an Islamic constitution. This is an Islamic country, and how you make an un-Islamic law in an Islamic country. The only person who stood in the parliament against this so-called transgender bill or transgender act was Mr. Mushtaq Ahmed, the Senator Mushtaq Ahmed. He is going shortly address to you. Before this, our ladies branch has formulated some of the recommendation, and I request Professor Khubaib Shahid, President of PIMA, to read out these recommendations for the benefit of every one of us. It should have been read by the President of our female branch, but they requested us to read it for you, and I request Professor Khubaib Shahid to read it for us. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Iqbal bhai. So basically, this seminar covered whole of the aspect of the issue: the technical, medical, the social, the ethical, and the Islamic perspective, and the psychological, and especially the legal aspect. So we have 4 or 5 headings under which these recommendations are formed. So first one is the legislation, and definitely Senator Mushtaq Ahmed Khan will also give further light on these recommendations. So as far as legislation is concerned, the amendment of Transgender Act 2018 is absolutely required to uphold the constitutional provision of sovereignty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and consider the Quranic provision and Sunnah guidance regarding the issue. Council of Islamic Ideology and the Houses of Parliament should have thorough debate and consider the legislation detail on the issue. It should be kept in mind that origin of human right in Islam is based on revelation and not on the human desires. Definition of transgender needs revision to make it in accordance with the scientific knowledge. Law should ensure rights of intersex, while transgender thought is not acceptable as it depicts change in nature, taghayyur fi khalqillah. Hence, the word transgender cannot be used for intersex individual born with disorder of sex development. Castration is also considered as change in nature. Castration is normal individual should be declared illegal and be allowed only for therapeutic reasons. Therefore, law should differentiate between these conditions. Right of people with disorder of sex development, intersex, and other genuine gender problems are being overlooked due to concealment of all types of abnormal sex behaviors and practices under umbrella of transgender. 4, the strategies to be developed at government level to resist the pressure of decriminalization of the homosexuality, unnatural sex by international community. 5th is Section 377 of the Section 3666 of Pakistan Penal Code should be amended to include the initialism LGBT to replace and add under the offense of carnal intercourse against the nature with any man, woman, or animal, and to satisfy unnatural lust, and also with reference to punishment details. 6, under Muslim Family Law Ordinance 1961, conditions of nikah, the marriage contract, should be specifically coded according to the Sharia. Number 1, 2 parties being man and woman. B, the consent of balughat of both parties. And C, the presence of 2 witnesses and presence of wali for a girl. 7, legal recommendation. Safeguard against laws adapted internationally affecting LGBTQ at state or organizational level should be devised and implemented in consonance with the Article 35 of the Constitution of Pakistan. Protection of family, multiple dimensions of the issue need to be addressed. Legal assignment of sex or gender on the basis of self-perceived gender identity will create social and legal problems in the society, hence cannot be allowed unconditional. So the responsibilities of the media, use of print and social media to address the issue intelligently, awareness campaigns for all relevant health professionals, youth, religious bodies, and others. PIMA and cyber laws should be implemented regarding display of obscene and incidents material or print, electronic, and social media. Sites and other social media channels representing LGBTQ rights with pornographic material should be banned. The advertisement and presentation of signs and symbols of LGBTQ on all sorts of media should be prohibited. TV channels broadcasting dramas presenting extramarital relationships should be banned and punished as provided in their code of conducts. Education. Educational curriculum at all levels should be based on promoting purpose of Sharia, establishment of a compatible environment in the educational institution and community is essential to develop desired Allah-fearing personality characters. All sources will have to be activated so that individuals are well versed with halal and haram of Islam. Number 4, all steps should be taken for confidence building and assertiveness through debates and discussions with rational and reasoning of Islamic principles, orders, and guidance. Collaboration with parents and teachers may be developed on brought up of children to protect and prevent them for ill effects and undesired influences of the materialistic and atheist cultures. Divine and rational youth movement may be initiated to promote modesty in educational institutions and society at large. 7, intermixing of male and female sexes will have to be abandoned at all levels to create modest society. Public awareness, considering the responsibility of guiding and helping its people in living their lives according to Quran and Sunnah, Article 2A of the Constitution, true guidance regarding importance of family institution, its working, strengthening should be provided at all levels for public education and making use of media. Number 2, the contemporary issue contrary to Islam, such as LGBTQ+, may be addressed at different platforms so that the masses are aware of Almighty Allah's disapproval resulting in eternal punishment. Such issues should also be taken at crime against state. Number 3, the role of masajid should be promoted so that we can get their benefit as center of excellence for educating and guiding individuals and masses on the basis of Quran and Sunnah. The health management of DSTs, the disorders of sex development. The principle is the birth of an intersex child promote a long-term management strategy that involves a myriad of professional working with family. It is estimated that genital abnormalities occur in 1 in 4,500 births. There has been progress in the diagnosis, surgical techniques, understanding psychological issues, and recognizing and accepting the place of patient advocacy. Health team dealing individuals and disorder of sex development should keep in mind the following guidelines. I will review a few of them. The intersex called person khunsa in the books of fiqh. The intersex medical interventions are considered permissible to achieve agreement between persons' exterior and chromosomal makeup of the sex organs. They are regarded as treatment and not altering the Allah's creation or limitation of the opposite or limitation of the opposite sex. With regards to Islamic law, all actions will be taken to determine the sex of a person. The sex change operation in non-DST individual is totally prohibited and considered to be criminal in accordance with the Holy Quran and Prophet's saying. Those who have both male and female organs require further investigation, and if the evidence is more suggestive of male or female gender, then it is permissible to treat individual medically, that is with the hormones or surgery, in order to eliminate the ambiguity and to raise him as male and vice versa. Then there are a few details, technical details regarding the congenital adrenal hypersensitivity syndrome and the androgen insensitivity syndrome. These next 3 or 4 points are regarding that. Then the point 9, all juristic religious opinions, fatwas concerning the change of sex is totally in a totally feminine or masculine human being with no physical abnormalities in his body, only due to refusal of persons to accept his natal sex, that is in a transsexual or transgender state, that is a religious doctrinal crime, and it changes what God has created. These fatwas decreed that if both masculine and feminine characters are detected in a person, such as in person with DST, a doctor should determine which character are dominant and remove any other characteristic that may cause suspicion to achieve the best outcome for a person. Additional important issues in the management of Muslim patients with DSTs that still require decisions from the religious authorities, including the following. Number 1, which characteristic, that is chromosomal gonads, phenotype, or appearance of function of the external genitalia is the best criterion to determine whether a person is male or female. The legality of performing gonadectomies or hysterectomies in patients with partial androgen insensitivity syndrome and wrongly assigned male sex with 46XXCAH, especially after late diagnosis. Regarding investigation and management of DSTs, the first is gender assignment must be avoided before expert evaluation in newborn. Evaluation and long-term management must be carried out at center with an experienced multidisciplinary team. All individuals should receive a gender assignment. Open communication with patient and families is essential, and participation in decision-making is encouraged. Patient with family concerns should be respected and addressed in strict confidence. A key point to emphasize is that the DST child has the potential to become a well-adjusted, functional member of the society. While privacy needs to be respected, DST is not shameful or stigma for the affected person or the family. The gender assignment, whether male or female, of the child born with DSTs should be decided after thorough investigation and managed accordingly as early as possible. Gender guidelines for sex assignment are: try to match baby's sex with chromosomal and gonadal sex, try to anticipate pubertal development, try to preserve fertility, to consider future function when planning strategies, when planning surgeries. Surgery should be aimed to help the person to adopt gender nearest to its genotype if possible. Recommendation for genital examination of the child, giving information to parents and subject prior to medical appointments, encouraging parents to discuss the examination with their children prior to appointment, and training physicians to provide reassurance about normal aspect of the examination while practicing full disclosure. Further research is required to find different causative factors so that the management option should be explored. The social responsibility, if a child is born with ambiguous genitalia, it should be brought up in the family, provided education, social, medical support. Such children should never be handed over to any other group of community. The guru culture cannot be allowed in a Muslim society. State should take responsibility to support parents so that required management may be continued as required. At a national and international level, unfortunately, Muslim society is not well versed with Islamic laws and teachings. All steps must be taken for the masses to improve their knowledge about Islam. Guidance from scholars should be sought for confidence building and assertiveness on different issues. Roundtable sessions may be initiated for scholars, parliamentarians, judiciary, civil servants, and societies to discuss such issues and learn Islamic perspective. Coordination and cooperation of worldwide Muslim organizations may be developed to get a unanimous stance in different issues. Efforts should be made to establish a pan-Islamic Darul Afta and to address the different emerging issues. Vigilance and timely reaction to UN treaties, resolutions, conventions, charters, and conferences for Muslim world should be there to express concern about their secular stance on human rights. Thank you very much.